What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of My Team Career Mode. Today, we are here for the start of the season 3 of our My Team journey, and we are doing some departmental upgrades so that we can hire some better drivers in this transfer market. So, for that, we are having to use quite of our cash, and still, we are at the bottom of the chart. And this is how the new driver transfer is looking like. So, it is Jahan Daruwala who is in the Alfa Romeo team, and he will be partnering with Oscar Piastri. So this is the Alfa Romeo lineup, and I think this is a decent effort because they have hired a new driver. As Yuki Tsunoda is in the Alfa Tauri team, so and Nicolas Latifi goes to Alfa Tauri, so a new driver for Alfa Tauri. So let's see what they brings. And Esteban Ocon stays at Alpine. Pierre Gasly joins Esteban Ocon. So a real life match has been made in our My Team season 3, and Guan Yu Zhou stays at the Aston Martin team as Sebastian Vettel has retired in the first season end, and Robert Schwartzman joins Guan Yu Zhou in the Aston Martin. So we'll have to look out for these rookie drivers as Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz stay in the Ferrari. So the Ferrari are the defending champions and they're having the same driver lineup. So it will be a strong team as K-Mag is in the Haas and he will be joined with Mick Schumacher. So Haas also retain both of the drivers. As Lando Norris stays in the McLaren and he will be joined with Lance Stroll as Daniel Ricciardo just retired at the end of season 2. And then the next team, which is the Mercedes, so Lewis Hamilton stays at Mercedes along with his teammate George Russell. So both the drivers have been retained by the Mercedes AMG team, and Max Verstappen stays at Red Bull along with Checo Perez. So Red Bull have also retained both of the drivers in their third season. So let's see what they can bring as Alex Albon stays at Williams for the third consecutive season and he will be joining our former teammate Felipe Dragovic. So Dragovic joins Williams and I'll be seeing what he can achieve there in the Williams team. And we hire a new driver which is Fernando Alonso. So Alonso will be the new driver in our My Team season 3 and I'm just looking for some more experience as he's 99 rated and he has a quite low market value, so we can at least gain some of his experience. So having said that, we'll be heading now to the Bahrain circuit for our Q1 session. And since we have done all those practice sessions, so this is how our team will look like with Eco as the primary sponsor and Mercedes will be the engine provider for our season 3 of, and this is how our car and the outfit looks like. So we have retained most of the colors and we have just adjusted certain bits which is not quite recognizable, but still this is the new car, our My Team season 3 with all the sponsor logos, everything. I just like this color very much and it has a good finish to it, and so that is the reason why I have retained the same color and the same car concept in our My Team season 3. And this is the calendar with starting with Bahrain and then we'll be going to Saudi, then Australia, then China and Spain. Then Canada makes a return and Britain, France, Belgium, Netherlands, Italy, Japan, US, Mexico, and the finale will be at Abu Dhabi. And now we are heading to the first race of season 3 which will be at the Bahrain Grand Prix. So let's see what we can achieve in this season, as our previous 2 seasons we have improved quite a lot and this time hopefully we'll be at least able to challenge the mid-table of the team. As we complete our practice sessions and get some R&D points with Fernando Alonso contributing very much because obviously he has the experience and he can help in developing our car and improve it further, as it will be a dry race so there is no chance of any rain. So we'll be going with the dry setup and hopefully we'll be able to achieve some much needed positions in the Q1 session. As in our first banker lap, we complete the lap and go into P22. So it was a disappointing lap as I was still having to get into grips with the car. And talking about issues, you can see here Lewis Hamilton just parks his car at the turn 10. I don't know, he went for a Spinella in the Q1 session, so that caused a little bit of yellow flag. But again, in our next lap, we just improved by 2 tenths, which is just not sufficient. And we stay put in P22 as Charles Leclerc and Lance Stroll get P2 position. So a decent recovery drive from the McLaren guy, as our teammate is in P19 and we are at P22. So a lot of things has to be done in this race and we are looking forward to it. As I just adjust the setup, as Max Verstappen, Charles Leclerc, Carlos Sainz are the top 3 position and Lewis Hamilton and George Russell are in 8 and 9. We are in P22, so it is 5 red lights here at the Bahrain International Circuit and it is lights out and away we go for the season 3 of My Team Career Mode, and we get a little bit of wheel spin which just lets Daruwala to overtake us. And now we are just at the back of the grid and we are sensing an opportunity to go down the inside of a couple of cars, and we also go down the inside of Williams, but still we get tagged along, which gives us a little bit of wing damage. This I did not realize at that moment, but as the laps progressed I felt there was a bit of understeer which is kicking in, and when I realized that it was a wing damage, so not a good start for us, as now we are just going 3 wide at the sector 2 and one of us has to back up, and fortunately it was the Williams guy, as we just go around the outside and now we make a move down the inside of the Russell. So a good opening lap, I would say, but except the damage, it was very horrible, as I was just checking for the vehicle condition.
Be careful with the front wing, you've taken some minor damage. Okay, no issues with
Because we have a damage, so we have to be careful of that. And I was thinking of going to the pits and going for hard tires, but I realized that if we go into the pits, the hard tire will not last for 27 laps. As you can see, the understeer which is kicking in the sector 2, because we have to go quite a wide around that corner, and we are facing some issues in the sector 2 because this is where the track just gradually has the many turns. So this is where we are facing some understeer, and we have to be careful of that. Otherwise, if we just cause an imbalance to our car, it will lead to a disaster of Spinella. And talking about Spinella, you can see here Alex Albon does a Spinella in the Bahrain Grand Prix. So he just went onto that curb and looped it around. So very unfortunate thing for the Williams guy. As at the start of the lap 7, I was thinking of going into the pits, but we had the wing damage and we'll be losing quite a lot of time due to that. So I was thinking that I'll go as per my usual time, which is around lap 13 or 14, as some of the soft runners have gone into the pits and they are putting on a sort of hard tires. So I think this will be a gamble, because doing 19 laps on the hard tires is possible, but the tire wear will be quite high, as our teammate Fernando Alonso also had pitted in the previous lap. And I go into the pits at the end of lap 11, because obviously we have to do some undercut, and because of the fact that we also have to do some wing change, so that will take a lot of time, and we will also be having the cold tires. And by taking into consideration all these factors, we just go into the pits, and hopefully we'll be able to undercut some of the other teams. As you can see here, the tires are ice cold and there is absolutely zero grip. The car is sliding all over the place, and now Dragovic and Piastri are just behind us. So we have to be careful, otherwise if we make a contact, our car will go into a spin, and that is not what is needed here at this season opener of my team career, as we are going 3 wide around this sector 1, and fortunately Dragovic had to back off, otherwise it would have led to a crash, which is not needed in the season opener itself. And Dragovic was thinking of going down the inside, but we just cover off the apex, which does not lead Piastri and Dragovic to overtake us. But in the straights, you can see the Alfa Romeo is still quite powerful, and he was thinking of going down the inside, and we make a bit of contact with the wheels, but fortunately neither of us got a Spinella. So GG's to Dragovic and Piastri. As again in the sector 1 of lap 13, you can see Dragovic and Piastri are just fighting too hard behind us, and it is giving us an opportunity to run away from them, as they are losing quite a bit of time. You can see the delta is improving, and we are also catching up with the likes of Schumacher and Daruvala in front of us. We are pushing so hard, you can see we go purple in the sector 2. So we are using whatever ERS we have, and it is because I have to get away from the DRS of Piastri and Dragovic, and we are successful in doing that, as now you can see Robert Schwartzman is out of the session. So the Aston Martin has a DNF with the Mercedes engine. It is quite a disappointing day for the Aston Martin guy. So it is Schwartzman's first race with the Aston Martin, as in the season 2 he was with the Alfa Romeo. So a disappointing first race for the Aston Martin guy, and hopefully he can turn around in the upcoming races. And here at the end of lap 15, you can see we are just going purple in sector 3. So we are utilizing whatever ERS we have, because obviously once we lose the ERS, it will be of no use. As you can see here, Mick Schumacher goes for a Spinella. So again, there is a lot of Spinellas happening, at least a couple of them, because the drivers are coming into grip with the new cars, and obviously they are having some R&D upgrades, so it will be a different thing to just acclimatize with the new handling concept and the power which is under the engine. So they have to be quite wary of the fact, as we are going through the laps, and you can see we are just catching in front of us, and our tire wear is now 29%. So the tire wear is quite high in this circuit, and if we are having 29% tire wear, then imagine the guys who have pitted in the lap 10 and lap 9, what their tire wear will be. So we have to be aware of the fact that the tire drop off is quite high in the circuit, and for that we have to be careful of that.
The car behind has front wing damage. It will have a harder time keeping up with you, so keep pushing.
And for that we have to be managing our tires well. And in the end of lap 29, you can see our tire wear is 52%, and we're just heading towards the final turn. And it was a good Grand Prix, I would say, much better than our previous 2 seasons, and hopefully we will be continuing this good form, as now we also get the driver of the day, and we get into P12 from P21 position. So a remarkable recovery drive from us, definitely, despite having the wing damage in the first lap itself. And our teammate also makes some good recovery, and we are at P12 at the start of the Drivers' Championship, and our car is in P8. So I would say it was a decent Grand Prix, and we have a lot to improve. And hopefully, me and Alonso will be taking the team forward as we select Esteban Ocon as our new rival, and we also renew some of the sponsors so that we can gain some much needed cash. And this is the Bahrain Grand Prix, and thank you guys for watching this video. And we will meet you again in the next video, which will be at the Jeddah Grand Prix. So hit like and do subscribe this channel for daily F1 22 content. Until then, peace.